Hey everyone, I'm Melanie from Streamline Legal, where we help law firms get the most out of their practice management software. One of the reasons that I really appreciate Clio is that they do have a ton of integrations. In fact, they have well over 200 integrations. And really, for me, what that means is that I don't feel trapped in a software as much because if there's things that it doesn't do or it can't do that I want it to do, I can simply go out and find the integration that's going to work for me. And it also means that I don't have to have data in a bunch of different places because now I can feed that data from Clio to whatever integration I want to. So I wanted to talk tonight about integrations in particular, though, because as wonderful as that opportunity is to find an integration and use one with Clio, I want to make sure you guys understand that they are not all the same. Some integrations that Clio has are very robust, and some simply are not. Unfortunately, I think there's kind of a low bar as far as how robust the integration needs to be in order to be considered a Clio integration. So for example, there are some integrations where it simply looks at the matters in Clio, and so that when you open up the integrated app, now you can see all your matters, which is helpful, of course. However, it doesn't always include a lot of functionality. And so what I would highly encourage you to do if you are looking at an integration, be sure to speak specifically to that company about the integration and how it works. Because again, I'd hate for you to subscribe to that integration or pay for it in some way, and then only to find out that the integration with Clio is somewhat lacking or very simplistic. So the number one thing I think you need to do is make sure when you're looking at an integration that you understand exactly how that integration works, or I should say how it functions with Clio and what functionality you're going to have. Number two, I want to make sure that when you are working with integrations, and again, there's well over 200, so there's many of them to choose from. But when you are working with an integration and you do connect Clio with this integration, you will get a box or a pop-up box or a screen that says that the integration is going to start looking at information or putting information into Clio. And so there's two ways that they typically phrase it. They'll say that they're going to write information, or they're going to read information, or they're going to do both. And basically, reading information means they're going to look at the information in Clio, pull it out of Clio to be able to use it in whatever integration you're working with. When we say writing information to Clio, that means they're going to take information and put it into Clio and edit your Clio account accordingly. So I want to make sure that number one, you understand the difference between those two and how it's getting the data and sharing the data with Clio. But number two, I also want you to be thinking about security, and specifically the idea that a lot of people use Clio and feel comfortable storing data in Clio because of its security and because it is so secure. However, not all of the integrations that work with Clio have that same level of security. So if in fact you are, if the integration is sharing data, whether it's reading or writing, if it's reading data out of Clio and putting it into its own program, then of course you want to be able to check and make sure that that integrated program also has high security standards and hopefully as high as Clio. But make sure that you're comfortable with whatever security standards they have, because once the data comes out of Clio, Clio is no longer keeping that data secure. So please make sure to take a look at the integrations you're using already. Make sure you know how they're working and how they're integrated. And then also make sure that you know any forward-going integrations that you are looking into that as well. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for joining me tonight. I hope that's helpful, and have a great evening.